Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on the way in, right? The late, the loud, and the lost, excuse me, Lucas. Let's say that again. The late, the loud, and the lost Lucas. Um, I wanted to read this quote real quick from Upton Sinclair. It is difficult to get a man to understand something when his salary depends on his not understanding it. Once again, it is difficult to get a man to understand something when his salary depends on his not understanding it. Upton Sinclair, right? So, you know, we had amazing Lucas, you know, disrupt the peace of the Black Manosphere um a little while ago, a couple of days ago, well, yesterday actually. And everybody, has had their say. Um First, amazing Lucas is just shooting everywhere. He recently had a conversation with a young lady, black young lady, where he was going at her also, and she was using the divester swirler, talking points, and he was debating her also. So he doesn't really mean what he says, right? For a man with a such a old channel and so many subscribers, you would have thought that he would have entered this conversation, in good faith and respectful, and he just didn't. He just didn't. He came in to defecate all over the place. And he knows that he has a solid core group of subscribers, so he can come in, disrupt the peace, right? Mischaracterize the conversation, and his subscribers will ride with him regardless, right? Lucas, we're just going to call him Lucas, was being disingenuous. He did not come to have a conversation. He didn't even come to actually dictate. He wanted views. This is about views. This is about subscribers. This is about controversy. This is the spectacle, right? This is the spectacle. You're late in your attack, you're loud, and it won't be effective. You're lost because you lost because you won't garner real money over here or any support. You're late because we've been going back and forth with certain divester and swirler black women. We've had backstabbers in our space. Mr. Lucas, you're not going to do anything new. You're not going to do or say anything. You're not going to tear down this space. We've had bigger people than you, more talented people than you, more knowledgeable people than you, more connected people than you attack us, and it did nothing. In the grand scheme of things, you're small fries. In the grand scheme of things, you're small fries, and that's not an attack on you or your talent. It is to say, in the grand scheme of things, you're small fries. You're late. You're loud because, well, you're just being loud. Like I said, it won't garner you any extra support, right? This is just not a good look for you, Mr. Lucas. It's just not. So, he had a 8+ hour long stream speaking about the Black Manosphere. I didn't watch the whole thing because once again, 8+ hours long. But what we do know is that Mr. Lucas did check out Mr. Z's channel. Shout out to the brother Art New Style, right? A very important elder in this space, the Switzerland of the Black Manosphere. So Art was complimenting me for my job on the Radical Latino, the conversation I had with the Radical Latino, and being non-ADOS, non-FBA, the conversation I had with Radical Latino, and how I made a very, made a really good effort to not throw ADOS, FBA under the bus while also not distancing myself from them as a Black person, while also showing that I know just a little bit about Latino history and culture, just a smidge, just enough, while also still not really throwing Latinos under the bus also. Mr. Lucas heard that and said, "Who's this guy?" Went on Mr. Z's page, clicked on a video where I spoke about the divestors and swirlers begging White Zaddy why he taking them out on dates. The story from a few months ago, well, actually it's more than a few months ago now, where the white guy was traveling to every state and he was going out on dates with white women because he's a white man, obviously. Young white man going out to every state and going on dates with pretty much white women, and Black women throwing a fit and being like, well, why aren't we being chosen? And me saying, like, this is coming off desperate. And like, the amazing Lucas didn't really play the video because once again, he's not really actually trying to have a conversation. The amazing Lucas also, Mr. Lucas, also made sure to not address what I said, which I did on purpose. When I asked Obsidian, Mr. Obsidian, you're in a relationship with a Black woman? Yes. BGS, you have children with Black women? Yes. Right? I don't recall if I asked Art New Style, but let's do it now. Art New Style, Black son with a Black woman. Mr. Z, in a relationship with a Black woman, right? Many people on the panel, and that came on the panel, or that were on the panel earlier, relationships with Black women, children with Black women, married to Black women. Mr. Lucas refused to grapple with what Mr. Z was saying. First of all, once again, disingenuous conversation. These people always want to frame the conversation as if the Black manosphere is just full of incels, right? Mischaracterizing the Black manosphere, red herrings everywhere, ad hominem attacks everywhere. They can't help it. That's the only way you can actually contend with what the Black manosphere is saying, but you're actually not contending with it, right? You're not actually grappling with what we're arguing. America raised a couple of generations of a-hole daughters, beginning, end. And these women are insufferable, and they can't make it work with any man, not just Black men, any man. They can't even make it work with each other. I would like to direct you to the DV rate in Black LGBTQ, Black lesbian relationships. Let's not even call it LGBTQ. Black lesbian relationships. Look at the DV rate. They can't make it work with anyone, including themselves. Mr. Lucas won't let go of Tariq Nasheed's testicles, so he uses the word bussy every 5 seconds. Right? Oh, how did I forget? Charles, Black son with a Black woman, which, by the way, he has primary custody of his son, Officer Charles. Right? Lucas refused to really deal with what we're saying because it was never about that. This was about attention. This was about eyeballs. This was the spectacle. This was Lucas trying to get those numbers back. Because he got kicked off of white racist Mount Olympus with the ass-kissing Black conservatives. And I'm not saying all Black conservatives are ass-kissing. Dear my conservative brother and sister. Brethren and sisterin, there we go. Right? Right? So every other word out of Lucas' mouth was bussy, bussy, bussy. Suggesting, implying, and just outright saying that the Black manosphere is full of men living alternative lifestyles. When he's the one saying bussy every 5 seconds. You're the one in Southern California, brother. Oh, goddamn. Right? Shout out to all my SoCal brothers. I'm not calling you out. I'm calling him out though. You know. So Mr. Lucas, this is who he is. This is his like last ditch attempt of like salvaging his title, his channel, excuse me. And yes, he has more subscribers than we do in the Black Manosphere. That's cool. That many of us do, not even all of us do. Right? So the panel, which I haven't listened to yet, right? And I know some of you have been telling me to timestamp when you get on and you try to offer some pushback. I'm going to listen to it. I might come with a part two and my increasing list of videos that I have to do part twos on, right? But I'm not taking this too serious because, like, what do we think Lucas is going to do that hasn't already been done? We've had people way more talented, way more intelligent, way more educated than him with way larger channels than him come at us. Way more influential people come at us, reference us, right? Lucas is not doing anything. He's late. Brother, you're not as snarky as the black women that come at us. You're not as talented as FD Signifier. You're not as loud as some of these, as Tiffany Cross. She had MSNBC backing her. She went at Kevin Samuels in his death. So you don't have the microphone like Tiffany Cross. You don't have the talent like FD Signifier, right? And you're not even on time. Like some of the black, you're not as snarky. So what do you think you're doing exactly? Right? What do you think you're doing exactly? How much support do you think you're going to garner? What, all of a sudden black women are going to be on team Lucas? I would like to direct you to the debate you just had with the young lady. What are you doing? You're just scattershot. What do you stand on? Sound like somebody's having an identity crisis. What do you stand on, Lucas? What are your principles, Lucas? Are you just talking to be talking on the internet for some money? You showed some talent debating the young lady about black male crime stats and putting things into context. No one's underestimating you. We all know who you are. You have a huge channel. We know who you are. We know the stories. So you try to out-talk BGS on his own channel, right? Insult him, insult the whole panel, and that was supposed to go over how. And BGS was right. He doesn't have to let you talk. That's like telling somebody you're at their home, you have to give me a room. What? First of all, I don't even have to let you in the door. Let's reel that back. I don't even have to let you on my property. The second you step off that sidewalk, that's your ass. So you're in the Black Manosphere on BGS's channel trying to call rules because it was for the spectacle in the first place. You didn't only not come here in good faith or to have a discussion. This was your plan all along. Your plan was to troll and then go back to your channel and talk about it. That was the plan from the jump. I get everybody saying it was a missed opportunity. He didn't want to have a conversation from the jump. right? He didn't mean any of it. He just recently had a debate with a young lady, and you could see he didn't mean any of it. He will play all sides of the fence because, once again, this is about views. This is the spectacle. Welcome to YouTube, where people don't stand on principle. They don't stand on anything. Just keep the content rolling. Let's keep those eyeballs. Let's keep those views up. Let's keep that subscribership up. Let's get these super chats and etc. etc. That's what this is about for Amazing Lucas. For Mr. Lucas. Right? I agree with everyone saying this is a lost opportunity. Train tracks, train tracks, train tracks. But that's if you assume that he meant any of it. And I submit to y'all that Lucas didn't mean none of it. He didn't come here in good faith. He didn't believe what he was saying. He just came here to do exactly what he did. Cause a scene, go back to his channel and talk. Bussy this, bussy that. Of course he went at BGS. Of course he did. And once again, BGS is just the old Negro. and Negro's not the word Lucas was using. Right? You can't dictate to other people on their channel. That's not how this works. You don't get to call shots on someone else's channel. You don't get to be rude to someone on their own channel, especially an elder. But I forgot, so with a lot of these young people, they don't know what an elder is. They don't even know what that terminology means. Elder, what? What is that? Old Negro. And Negro is not the word they use. Right? Negro is not the word they use. So I don't take this conversation too seriously. I don't think Lucas meant any of it. I don't think he came in here to have a genuine good faith conversation. It was just for the spectacle. It was for the views. It was for him to go back on his channel and do exactly what he did in the first place. Right? I don't think he wanted to have a conversation or even a real debate. And okay, fine. Let's deal with what Lucas was saying, where men should be men and men should lead their communities and da da da. Okay, cool. As a person who's understands the political sphere, how do you not understand state intervention? How the state's gotten in the way? That's why we reference the Moynihan Report all the time. The Negro family all the time. Mr. Z references Nixon all the time. Tricky Dick and his plans for the black community. Colony within a nation. Settlement on capitalism. Right? Benign neglect. We speak about second wave feminism all the time. Just black men be men in a vacuum. Well, the state's been tearing up the white community for a couple decades. How's that looking for white men? So let me get this right. Black men are supposed to do what no other men in history have done. Rise above your own country stepping on you and putting the women first. Okay. Yeah, that's it. Right? Doesn't work for Latino men, doesn't work for white men, but magically is going to work for black men in America. Okay. Yeah, that's it. And especially now in the 21st century. So we're all type of BS Negroes, according to Amazing Lucas, Mr. Lucas, right? The late, the loud, the lost Lucas. It's very interesting to have the state and to have the corporations backing the women, but yet randos like Lucas, PhDs like Dr. Umar Johnson, and lefties like FD Signifier. So we have a brother from the right, a brother that's probably more, center right or a centrist. That's Dr. Umar Johnson. And then a brother on the left, FD Signifier, all saying the same things in a vacuum. Just Negroes just do better. It don't matter what the state has up against you. It doesn't matter that the state's pushing the women forward because it sees them as less of a threat. It doesn't matter if even the state now is investigating, okay, what the hell is going on? Because our men and our boys are not performing to the level we want them to. What? Wait a minute. Did we take a wrong turn? We just want men to magically, manifest? Even though we don't give them the resources, particularly in the black community? Right? So every other word was implying some type of homosexuality, or once again, outright saying something homosexual, something along those lines, right? And of course, doesn't this sound like some of the black women that we have conversations with and we debate, where every other word, when you have an issue with a black man, you either imply, suggest, or just outright say that he's same sex loving, particularly towards straight black men, because that's specifically an insult for straight black men. We don't actually insult LGBTQ black men with LGBTQ language. We insult straight black men with LGBTQ as a insult, as a pejorative, right? Yeah. So once again, Mr. Lucas, you're late. The black manosphere has weathered Dr. Umar, Jason Black, black feminists, black talking heads on television, right? The divestors, the swirlers, lefty bread tube, black bread tube. The black manosphere has weathered all of that. And arrogant Mr. Lucas think he's gonna be the one. Bussy this, bussy that, bussy this, bussy that, bussy this. Now let me address this. A brother in the comments, this is a brother I have sparred with before, went at Z, called Z all type of lame, right? Once again, when we were on BGS channel, someone said Z is a hero. This particular person, who should not be named, said, hero? Man, that guy's a lame. Say it in the comments. Right? Now, it's very interesting because I remember having a conversation with a certain somebody, FD signifier, and I made mention of this person, and I said, even though we disagree politically, I wouldn't throw this person under the bus, especially not in public. Now, this same person throws Mr. Z under the bus for Mr. Lucas. Call Mr. Z all type of lame. This person is supposed to have a master's degree and be an entrepreneur. This is a person that chastised some of us, black people in general, for not holding the line for Mr. Cosby. Hold the line, right? So, it's very interesting to see these people, educated brother, gym rat, right? Entrepreneur, all they ever want to talk about is starting a business and why the black men aren't men anymore, and et cetera, all of that, right? We should even be celebrating because we're not like our great grandfathers type talk. But not even given the opportunity. They made an opportunity out of nowhere. Z, a hero? Man, that means lame. Okay. So, Mr. Z sees that, and I will move accordingly from now on. Whenever this person's on a panel, I'll make sure that I'm not on the panel. I will move accordingly. I know we had disagreements. We may not have seen eye to eye politically. But hey, for you to come out of nowhere, I know that person. Lame. Alrighty. Right. So continuing. All this talk of masculine energy. All this talk of masculine energy, right? Mr. Lucas, do you think you were exhibiting masculine energy? Number one. Number two, what's wrong with black men commiserating? What's wrong with black men commiserating about their trials and tribulations with women? By the way, this is why your granddaddies was passing away by the age of 65, because they were told to eat that. Be a man and eat it. And then we wonder why Gramps died of a massive ass heart attack by the age of 60 and 65. While all you got is a picture of him on the living room wall, if it's not even in the basement collecting dust. Oh, you're just complaining. And what if they are? And what if black men are? And there was Dr. T covered this once. Black men don't even get the social, accoutrement and the longer life for their accolades, right? And their achievements. In other words, our doctors, our PhDs, our attorneys, they're not necessarily living longer, healthier lives compared to their more middle class and poor brethren. In other words, Mr. Lucas, in other words, Mr. Jason Black, in other words, Dr. Umar Johnson, being a black man in America seems to be the disease. It's not your status or your money or your education. But Mr. Lucas demands that black men eat that, right? Mr. Lucas is demanding you don't say anything about that because it makes you look weak. Don't you know, black men? You can't commiserate with other black men, once or twice, maybe even 3 times a week. You can't turn this into the barbershop while you still live your life and be a productive citizen, paying your taxes and still doing right by this society and right by your family and right by your friends. Oh no. Blow off some steam, have a drink while you online, smoke while you online, chill and play video games while you online after a long day of work. You can't turn this into a family. You can't turn this into cheers, right? Real life cheers, but online. Oh no, that's weak, black men, right? That's weak. That's bussy talk, black men. That's beta talk, black men. That's rainbow talk, black men. You know, wait, who else says that about black men when black men commiserate with each other? Oh, yeah, black women. Whoops, right? And Allspan says, and thank you for the super chat, Mr. Z putting in that work tax. Divestors, bootstrap bros, and Sims beware. Good job representing versus Latinos also. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Right? And Ruth, oh, I gotta read this now. And Heru says, LT swap everything. And by the way, the LT is a Chevy engine. The new there's old school LTs, and those were the workhorse Chevy engines before the LS engines, and now they went back to the LT designation for their newer stuff. So yeah, LT swap everything. Hysterical. Yeah, and soon there will be LT swapping everything. They'll stop doing the LSs when we get enough crashed LT. When we get enough crash Chevy V8 vehicles, then they'll start LT swapping everything. You're right. Like they're LS swapping everything now, right? So you know, Lucas just was talking, y'all, just talking, just talking. Like I said, this is the spectacle. This is for views. This is for to garner attention. That's cool, Mr. Lucas. You're not really. You're too late for that. You're not saying the Black Manosphere is kind of getting old and long in the tooth with that. So you're not. You're not new. People already know about us. Thank you for bringing us a couple of extra views, but you're late to the game. Really, your critique. You're late to the game. You're just late. You're just late, right? And when y'all give me a second, I'm gonna pause right here and talk amongst yourselves. Give Mr. Z 1 second.
And we're back. We're back for a minute. There's a helicopter very near to me, so the background is going to be a little loud in a minute when it take back off. Yeah. Shout out to working in major cities, right? Or cities, right? So Lucas didn't do it. You know, I take Mr. Lucas seriously. I don't take this conversation seriously because it was just him garnering attention. He wasn't actually here to have a conversation, right? He wasn't actually here to have a conversation. He didn't actually want to speak to BGS, right, or the panel, but even just BGS. He didn't. He wasn't here in good faith, and we need to understand that. We need to see it as that. Lucas was not here in good faith at all, right? And I hear brothers, that have covered this. I just want us to consider that Lucas wasn't here in good faith.
Mr. Z, what type of intermission commercial? Well, damn, Mr. Shikti said, "Goddamn, I know, right?" Look, work related. You know, it's important when the boss. No, we have the the boss's boss boss again. The boss's boss. Maybe another boss on that. Inspecting some stuff tomorrow. So y'all already know we had to have that meeting. You know, y'all know how that go. Y'all know how that go, right? Okay. So finishing up. Yeah, no, Mr. Lucas, look, bro, I don't take this conversation serious. And I actually would like if you would have a one-on-one with BGS, right? If you would have a one-on-one with BGS, because this wasn't it, right? This wasn't it, right? And Big Kev said, "Bootstrap Bros want you to be a man for free." Pretty much. No, actually, not pretty much. Exactly. And I don't think they actually mean it though, Big Kev. I don't think they actually mean it, right? They don't mean what they're saying. Most of these people don't mean what they're saying. It's where the money is. This is the power of women right here. Spending money. Women are bigger spenders than men. And so they're bending capitalists to their will. And they're bending men who need money to their will, right? Now, of course, we have certain people that, that actually believe that, women are the moral center of the universe, right? And they truly see women as the moral compass. We do have those true believers. But what it really is once again, let's go through it again. Let's do this again. It is difficult to get a man to understand something when his salary depends on his not understanding it. Let's read that one more time. It is difficult to get a man to understand something when his salary depends on his not understanding it. Upton Sinclair, right? So I originally read that speaking about Mr. Amazing Lucas, but no, that applies to this conversation at you know this conversation, this whole conversation, and when we when we what's the word I'm looking for? When we consider the capitalists, when we consider why they do what they do, why they sound the way they sound, and why they're advertising the way they're advertising, the whole conversation about you know LGBTQ and certain rainbow flag paraphernalia in certain stores. Money. These people don't mean it. It's money, right? So Amazing Lucas, for once again, I don't know if he's desperate right now or he's looking at his bank account and it ain't looking like it did 3, 4 years ago, 5 years ago. But this kind of hit job or hit piece that you wanted to do against the Black Manosphere, it's really not going to work. Once again, you're too late. Yeah, you're loud, right? And yes, you're lost. You've already lost, number one. And even though you're loud, you're too late. As I've said, the Black Manosphere has weathered all these storms. What, are you bigger than Dr. Umar Johnson? Are you more talented and knowledgeable than Jason Black? Are you more connected and knowledgeable and talented than FD Signifier? Kim Foster? Kim Foster's Harvard educated, right? Do you know about marketing like Chrissy does? Right? The Black Manosphere has weathered all these storms, and Mr. Lucas think that he's gonna be the one, right? This is the height of arrogance. That's if we take him at face value, which once again in this conversation I don't. That's not me underestimating him. That is me saying that he didn't mean any of this in this conversation. This was never about having a real conversation. This was always about the spectacle. This was always about the spectacle. And that's okay. He'll move on to something else eventually. And all the brothers that, we understand where you brothers stand. Those of you that were in the comments, those of you that went up there to talk crap about the Black Manosphere while you suck the tit of the Black Manosphere. Train tracks, train tracks, train tracks. Right? While people even know your name online because, once again, the Black Manosphere. Right? You know. So there's that. And we have a issue with disagreeing with people and then ad hominem attacks. Notice Mr. Z hasn't made no ad hominem attacks at Mr. Lucas. And I'm specifically talking once again about the particular brother that, went at Mr. Z. Unwarranted, by the way, also. Unwarranted. But because we've had disagreements, Mr. Z is lame. Because we don't see eye to eye politically, Mr. Z is a lame. All right. This is how it works. It's very interesting, and why Mr. Z brings this up, because that's definitely one of those blink and you'll miss it. Something that Mr. Z is actually a bit ashamed of for bringing up is because I went out of my way to mention this person and say how I wouldn't throw them under the bus after I spoke. And PK Angel might remember me saying this after the conversation with FD Signifier. I made sure to mention this person and said I wouldn't distance myself or throw them under the bus if people were trying to force me to. No one was even trying to force this person. They made sure to mention they made sure to throw me under the bus. Right? And maybe Mr. Z is getting it wrong. Maybe I don't understand the context. Possibly. It's very possible Mr. Z is getting this wrong. And I'm shooting from the hip. It's possible. But that's not the way I see it right now. Right? But Trell, bending men, maybe for real. With money, maybe. And Trell says, bending men, pause. Right? Pause, son. No, maybe. Right? If right now women are dropping the economy, then they do have the ability to bend men in general and maybe bend an individual man. You know what I'm saying? We do live in that environment. Unfortunately. Right? We do live in that environment. Yes, that's what it looked like. Right? And Afro National, thank you for the super chat. Let's keep that up. And he says, keep up the great work, Z. Support Black men's media. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Handshake, fist. Black power fist. Right? So, Lucas does all the character assassinations and the insults, the ad hominem attacks, the who the hell are you? Look you up for all of 5 nanoseconds and be like, okay, yeah, yeah, this loser next. And I agree with those that said, if he had entered this space in good faith, then yes, this was a missed opportunity. If he meant what he was doing, if it was in good faith, but it was never in good faith, this was always about the spectacle. Look at this man's channel recently. And Dreddy Bean, we're using the word grifting way too much nowadays, but you are actually correct on this one. And Dreddy Bean says he's just grifting. And he is. Nowadays we're using that term way too often because some people actually mean what they're doing and what they say, and they're not grifting. But yes, I would argue that that is what Mr. Lucas is doing, right? And Grab Second Gear says never even heard of him till now. No, he's been around. He's been around for a while, right? He was with the conservative clique, the younger conservative clique, right? The under 50 conservative clique, under 45 at least. Yeah, yeah, under 45, under 40 maybe because I think Tatum's probably like 40. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Under 40, under 45-year old conservative clique. He used to roll with the Candace Owens in them. Something happened and he's no longer, over there with them anymore. You know. So now he's all over the place, having all type of conversations. And this might be one of those kind of destiny arc things where it's I jump on a subject for a month or two, then I switch over to something else, then I switch over to something else. Don't ever take anything I really, take, and these weirdo gamer people, like you know, now they just don't speak about the games that they're covering or they're playing. Now they're just subject hopping. Yeah, and we could say that. Let's call it that. Subject hopping. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And Trell is 100% correct. Trell says the use of quote unquote grifting is approaching narcissist and toxic. Yeah, because you're you're accusing people of being disingenuous. And Mr. Z has accused people of being disingenuous, right? And being obtuse. But not everyone is being disingenuous and obtuse, and not everyone is being disingenuous and obtuse all the time, right? Once again, not everyone's grifting all the time, right? And what we're essentially saying is like everyone is doing something for the bag at all times. And like partially true, but not all the way true. We're not always doing something for the money all the time. By the way, that would be a horrible way to live, right? Y'all give Mrs. E 1 second. And we're back. And that's my point, Mr. Shug, to you. What did Destiny really gain by doing his toe into this space? Right? And that's my point. And that's what I'm arguing is the same outcome that's going to be for Amazing Lucas, which is like you don't garner anything. What you get let's say you earn another couple hundred subscribers, right? Okay. Out of those couple hundred subscribers, a tenth of them are going to actually spend money with you. So let's say you get 250 subscribers out of this little foray into the Black Manosphere. 25 of them are going to donate, and really they're going to donate ones and fives. For a channel your size, that's barely a dent. And there you go. Destiny, that's actually a really good comment. What did Destiny gain? Really nothing. The people that weren't going to ride with Destiny didn't ride with him before. They didn't know who he was. They found out who he was, and now they still don't care. Right? There you go. Bernard probably gained the most out of the whole conversation with Destiny. Angry Man probably gained the most out of the whole conversation with Destiny. Amazing Lucas didn't even stay long enough. He didn't even have a real conversation. He didn't even allow who it is. He didn't even allow himself to really benefit from the grift. Right? He didn't even allow himself to benefit from the grift. Right? So I would argue it wasn't necessarily smart, but I really do think that Destiny is doing this for the spectacle of it all, right? He's kind of following the debate bros type of, you jump on a subject, you do 5 nanoseconds of air quotes analysis, right? Maybe Amazing Lucas talks about this for the next couple weeks, maybe, and then that's it, right? Does Amazing Lucas really mean this? Meh, I say no, and that is the disappointing part. I understand the people that were saying like the missed opportunity. This is kind of disappointing. I get it, but just because you care about the dynamics between men and women and you understand how detrimental this kind of adversarial relationship is in the grand scheme of things, other people don't. And other people are very self-interested. They're okay in their relationship, so they're good. Screw whatever you talking about. You just complaining because you can get these O's. Meanwhile, like most of the panel were in relationships or married or at least have children. That part. Similar with the chat, right? Right. So, like I said, Lucas wasn't saying anything. It was just full of bussy, which is rainbow, which is interesting because he was accusing us of being rainbow. And yeah, me and Charles made fun last night. I made, I threw some jokes out there last night. But I can have a real conversation with Mr. Lucas if he was willing to have a real conversation. But I'm submitting to the panel, well, the chat. Okay, so Mr. Z's gonna have to open the panel probably this week. Right? But I'm submitting to the chat that he wasn't being genuine, right? Mr. Lucas wasn't being genuine, right? So yeah, it's a missed opportunity, but meh. Let's see where he goes from this. But Checked out his channel. I see he recently had a debate with a sister who pretty much was reciting, you know, Paris Milan, Cynthia G, big black man predator talks, right? The whole black men are the right racist of the black community type talk. They're the predators of the black community, right? I would say borderline white supremacist talk, but it's not even borderline. It's white supremacist talk, right? And Trell says for your grift. Thank you for the super chat. I wish I was a real grifter, right? Yeah, look, whoever said grifting doesn't pay, well, now I can't tell, right? I wish I had it in me, right? Would I sell you brothers down the river for a couple of pieces of gold? I don't know, man. Like there's this thing about your peace and your conscience and you're going to sleep just knowing that you ain't screw people over. It feel good. It feel good going to sleep without those demons chasing you, right? Without you know. But yeah, Mr. Lucas, I'm gonna end it out in a minute. Mr. Lucas didn't say anything particularly inspiring here. I'm gonna listen in more. Let's see if I do a separate video on the panel. Um, I know there's certain characters that I've heard were on the panel, so I gotta prepare for that, mentally prepare for that. But Lucas didn't say anything, man. He didn't say anything, and we couldn't have expect. He wasn't on the panel long enough. He didn't care about the subject matter at all. And this idea, like, and this is going to hurt women big time. This idea that men that are in spaces like this are just little loser men whining about women and can't get women, aren't in relationships, and are incels or are some like vampire level misogynists, right? All of these caricatures so that you don't have to actually grapple with what we're presenting, which is what has neoliberal capitalism and feminism done to the relationship between men and women, and how women over the past 50 or so years see men. That's what I'm forwarding to you, Mr. Lucas. You can't say it's a black man thing because the Latinos, the Asians, and the white dudes are saying the same thing. They have their own panels. They have their own movements saying similar, both in the US and outside of the US. Now what? What has modernity done to the relationship between men and women? Much of because of the way women think of men and relationship over the past 50 or so years. 60, approaching 60 years now. That's something that you have to grapple with. But that's if you even mean this. That's if you come in good faith, which you didn't. And I would argue, I don't see you ever having a conversation like this online in good faith from this point on. Because you got to save face now. Right. Now you got to save face. Now you have to act like you're not reeling it back some. that you meant what you said, that this wasn't a grift, that you are a good faith actor, right? So, like I said, I'm about to end out. Um, Mr. Lucas, wow, right? Whenever we have these people with huge channels and just they're coming from a whole different sphere, you know, the political sphere, right? Maybe some of the entertainment sphere, and they kind of peek their nose in the ear, and then they don't actually want to have a good conversation. They don't mean things in good faith. They're being disingenuous. It is a little saddening. But guess what? This environment will show you. When more and more your women don't get married, it'll show you. When that birth rate keep on going through the floor, it'll show you. When your women are crying themselves to sleep at night, it'll show you, right? That'll show you. So you could grift all you want. You can make all these comments all you want. You could talk bussy this, bussy that all you want. Sound nice. You could call us betas all you want. Sound nice. This environment will show you. Wait, it's already showing you. That's how we know you're being disingenuous. All right. CNN just covered this a couple days ago, and then Mr. Lucas comes in with the BS over here on the other end. Right. Scott Galloway, he's bald, but Scott Galloway and Dr. Richard Reeves, Dr. Scott Galloway and Dr. Richard Reeves running around America with their hair on fire, telling you the impending doom of not doing for your sons. And Mr. Lucas over here is talking about bussy and beta males. And which women want to be with men like this? I'm in a relationship, Mr. Lucas, with a woman, one of those women that was a girl and came out the womb, X chromosome. Yeah, one of those. And she's black. That part. Trell, you see me? And Trell says, what black woman is Lucas dating? That's the question. That is the question. That is the question. I thought it. I'm happy you asked. I forgot to put that in my notes. Right? And see, exactly. I got love for my brothers that are same sex loving. It's funny, Afro national. It's funny. This funny statement. I could get you right there, right? Pause, son. But okay. I feel you. But I should say pause to myself with that one. You see, Mr. Z, see, you make it fun of Afro, and then you done stepped in it too. Look at you. Anyway, I got love for my brothers that are same sex loving, putting their race first. Baldwin, exactly, James Baldwin. But when you're throwing around bussy every second, I have to clown you. And that's, look, man, like, bro, Mr. Lucas, if you got something to tell us, then go ahead and tell us. Yeah, there'll be some in the black manosphere that ain't gonna deal with you, but we still got love for you as a brother. Maybe not that type of love, but But this bussy talk every 5 seconds, bro. Like I said, like let Tariq testicles go, right? And a lot of this was disingenuous, but like I said, I checked out one of his videos where he was debating one of these kind of swirler divester type sisters, where the problem is the black man type thing and the big bad, black boogeyman type women, and he broke her down, you know. So that let me know, like, you know what it is. That's why I don't take this conversation or the lack thereof seriously. It's not that I don't take Lucas seriously. I don't take what he did seriously. I don't take these antics seriously. If you're trying to get your numbers up, there's other things. There's definitely other subject matters that you could be talking about. Because quite frankly, like, the money ain't is not in um black men, black women relationship. Like, there's a couple of people making some dollars, but for the most part, it is not here, player. Right? You might want to go back to like tap dancing for the white racist conservatives over there. There's a whole lot of money over there. They're paying black people handsomely to throw other black people under the bus over there. And you might get you a cute, petite, white woman out the deal too. You might get you a cute little white wife out the deal too. Right. You might want to go back over there, go beg the Hodge twins to do a video with them or something like that. Get back in these people's good graces. Go beg Candace Owens or something like that. Tatum or something like that. And then, we could see you back over there in a year or so. Right? So, you know, exactly, Trell. And Trell said, I will never understand the fascination any man has with another man's genitals. If we ain't effing, what I care what or who you do. It's that simple. All this bussy talk, Jesus. But this is the thing, they're not levying this bussy talk to actual gay brothers, same sex loving brothers. They're not. That's a no no. You can only insult straight black men with all this like LGBTQ talk as a pejorative. The society allows you to insult straight black men with LGBTQ insinuations, but not actual LGBTQ black men. That's the that's the most funniest. That's like the funniest thing in the world in America. You could call a straight black man gay as an insult, but you can't call a gay black man gay as an insult, right? Black women do it. Black men do it. Black LGBTQ stand by and let black women do it, right? You can imply it, you can suggest it, you could just outright say it. And you would think that Mr. Lucas is better than that, right? And we're getting to the place of like, you know, watching the debate that he had with the young lady, you saw that there were part where he definitely had to get her together, and I understand he had to reel her back, right? Because once again, she's doing the whole black man boogeyman thing, and it's all black men's fault thing, right? But he did get into the arrogant part of like, let me school you because clearly you don't know and you're ignorant and that, right? And dear Mr. Lucas, You know this, but let me say it anyway. If you didn't know, she needs you to say, "Yeah, you right. Black men ain't ish," and continue. Yeah, we do need to step up. Yeah, you right. We do need to imitate white men and you know go grape and conquer and pillage the world and make 20% of black women what upper middle class, annoying, petulant children, elitist a-hole white women are. Right? Because if you didn't know, that's really like all of these black women's gripe with black men. It's just that they're not socio-economically and socio-politically where the top 20% white woman is, upper middle class and above. Right? I said I was gonna leave like 20 minutes ago. Right? Where's better you when you need him? Better you's probably like, look. So on that note, okay, we'll truly end right here. We'll pause right here. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content. Right? How did Mr. Z do this? Let's do this again. We'll pause right here. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content, for the love of God. And hopefully you don't sound like Mr. Lucas, right? Hopefully you don't sound like the late, the loud, and the lost Mr. Lucas, right? Because this was not a good look. This ain't it, Mr. Lucas. This ain't it. Right? I don't know if it's that you were once a lame and now you're a lame with some muscles, which means you're still a lame and it's not working for you, or once again, I just think this is for the this is the spectacle. This is just to garner more views and you know more attention, and he's probably just jumping from subject to subject, trying to see what sticks. Right? This is Pearl before she found what stuck. Right? Just subject to subject, reviewing things, making commentary, trying to put yourself in certain spots, seeing what sticks, and whatever sticks, that's what he's gonna stay on, and that's what he's gonna go with. Right? So, okay. Anyway, on that note, Mr. Z out. International roll to sit. You ain't going nowhere, Z. Get your glass and brandy and sit down. Oh, no, Mr. Z definitely has work to do. Definitely has work to do. Right. So, on that note, I might be coming in because I did listen into the intro of BGS's stream today. Um, and I think that's worth reviewing. Great job, obviously, again, BGS. And there's a reason why Lucas went right at BGS, right? So like I said, you should have had a real conversation with him. And I think you should still attempt to have a real conversation with him, but you don't really mean it, right? So there's that part. You know, once again, you ain't gonna get no real views from this like that. You ain't gain no real subscribers like that. So let's see how this works for you. You know. And on that note, truly, y'all have a great rest of your night. Go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content. We'll pause right here. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Mr. Z out. All right, everybody.